with a first impression foundation review demo of the new Stellar Limitless Foundation. This is a new brand to Sephora, and so when I saw it, I was really excited and wanted to give it a go. I am in the shade S03, which is a little bit light, and now my neck is like kind of red right now because I was just like scrubbing it to get off like excess self-tanner that was like fading unevenly, so don't mind the fact that my neck is a little bit red. But I think that it ended up being okay once I kind of bronzed up. I do have self-tanner on, but it's a tad light, a tad smidgen light, and a smidgen more yellow than I think I would normally like. But it works for the sake of this video. If I end up really loving this foundation, I'll probably exchange it for another shade, mainly because this one I just feel is just like a little light, a little yellow. This is a new brand to Sephora, Stellar. They have a few different products. They have some foundations, some lipsticks, concealer, powder, and like I said, I'm in the shade S03. They do have like 21 or 22 shades. S03 is described as a cream with beige undertones. I may like possibly bump up to like, I don't know, everything else has yellow undertones. Maybe a light medium with peach undertones might work a little bit better. But it's okay. It's an okay shade. So there's 21, 22 shades. It retails for $38. I'm just reading to you on Sephora what it says. It says it's a sheer coverage, normal combination skin, radiant finish, oil-free, innovative, highly pigmented, medium coverage foundation that lets you build to full coverage where it's needed. That's contradicting itself. First, Sephora says it's a sheer coverage, and then in the description, it says it's highly pigmented, medium coverage that lets you build to full coverage. Okay, let's just go with that it's a medium buildable full. I don't agree that it's sheer unless you use like very little product. Anyways, that's what it says, and it has pretty decent reviews. Out of 29 reviews, it's like 4.25 stars, almost 4.5 stars. So I'm going to show you guys today how it applies, how it wears throughout the day. Have you guys tried this foundation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Also, what shade? If you're similar to the coloring of me when I'm self-tan, what shade are you? Let me know. So if you guys want to see a demo and first impressions and how it wears, is it sheer coverage? Is it light? Is it medium? Is it full? Who knows? You'll find out in a second. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe, give this video a big thumbs up, and I will see you guys in a second. Okay, so I'm gonna start off by priming my skin, just using my Makeup Forever Step 1 Smoothing Primer. This just helps kind of fill in my pores a little bit and even out any uneven texture. I always use a primer, even in foundation first impressions, because my skin does not do well with foundations usually without a primer. And it's way the heck too hot here in Redding. It's already in the 90s and it's the beginning of May. So I am just gonna prime my skin. And this is one that I use a lot, and I know that it works well with many foundations. So that's the one I'm gonna use. Okay. Go in with the Stellar foundation. It might be a little bit light. It's the shade S03. I should have gotten a darker shade, but we're just gonna go with it because I really want to try this foundation out. It has a nice pump. I'm going to do a pump on the back of the hand. It's a little bit runny, as you can see it running down my hand there. And I'm gonna go in with the Beauty Blender. Yeah, like matches my face perfectly, which my neck is a little bit darker. Yeah. So as far as it matching my face, it matches my face well, but I'm definitely a little bit tanner than my face. Okay. So we're gonna do half with the Beauty Blender and half with the brush. And it's really kind of like hit or miss what foundations work better with a brush. I just did a first impressions recently of, I think it went up last week, the Healthy Elixir from CoverGirl. Now that one applies amazing with a Beauty Blender, and I don't like it with a brush. But this one, I'm wondering if a brush will be better, because that was 2 pumps. And I feel like I have like okay coverage with it. So that is with about 1.5 to 2 pumps with the Beauty Blender, and then obviously that side has nothing. Let's go in with a brush on this side. So I'm gonna do 1 pump and kind of get that all over my face. I find when it's a more liquidy consistency, it ends up working better with a brush, in my opinion. So the thicker the foundation, the more I like to use the Beauty Blender, and the thinner the foundation, I usually tend to go for the brush. Well, it blends really, really easily onto the skin. This feels like it has a little bit of a yellowy undertone to it. I'll definitely have to bronze up with some bronzer here to add some color. All right, so as I'm looking at it now, I did 1.5 pumps on this side with the Beauty Blender and only 1 pump here. So let's even it out and see if we can build this up, because this definitely looks far more full coverage than this side. This side looks quite light coverage, and we'll see if it builds up with a brush or not. I do see like some of my redness still kind of peeking through. I'd say it's medium buildable to full-ish coverage. It looks nice on the skin. You definitely can tell there's some makeup. It feels a little tacky still, so I'm gonna like let it dry for a little bit and go in with my concealer and stuff and finish up the rest of my face, and then I will check in. All right, I finished up the rest of my makeup. Everything applied really easily over it, and now that it's kind of like set and I've like applied my blush, my bronzer, my highlight, I actually really like it. I am noticing a little bit around my nose, it can get a little heavy. So around like those little nooks and crannies, make sure you kind of blend away any excess product, because I think it can start to gather or separate, especially like around the nose. But other than that, I think it looks really, really good. Don't mind my neck. It's like all red because I just scrubbed the heck out of it because I had like self-tanner coming off unevenly. So anyways, so far I like it. It is currently, what time are you today? Currently 8:48. So I'm going to check in a little bit and we'll see how it's holding up. All right, I'm back with a check-in. It is 1 o'clock right now. I had this foundation on for like 4.5, 5 hours now, and it is hot today, y'all. It is hot. Did my Costco run. I got my new mermaid hair put in. It looks super crazy right now because I had my hair obviously curled earlier, and then the extensions have like these like crazy curls. So it's not like quite curled and blended how I normally style it, but I do have my wedding mermaid hair that I'm very excited about, and it actually matches like pretty perfectly with my hair. So that was good because I haven't got my hair dyed yet. So anyways, that was a total ramble. We're checking in on the foundation, seeing how it's doing. Freaking awesome. It is doing awesome. It is supposed to be a long wearing foundation, and so far so good. It's nice and warm out today. I do not see it, you know, wearing off anywhere. I don't see myself being glowy or dewy or, you know, it breaking up or getting oily. I'll zoom you in a little bit. The match is actually really, really good. I don't know if it's just the bronzer or if it may be slightly oxidized a little bit, but I'm actually thinking this color match is perfect. My self-tan is like only a few days old, so it's still fairly fresh. Maybe with a fresh self-tan, this color wouldn't work, but I think that the color actually turned out to be pretty good. I did have my little aviator sunglasses on. I always note that because I think the sunglass thing is a big deal. I hate when my makeup rubs off by my nose. And honestly, like there's the slightest little mark on the side of my nose. It doesn't really fit. Like in the center of my face, it kind of feels the slightest bit tacky. Not oily and not like sticky, but like just a little tacky. It does not feel heavy on my skin anymore. Like when I first put it on, I felt like it kind of looked makeup-y, but I think the more you wear it, it kind of melts into the skin in a really beautiful way. So yeah, if I did need to touch up, which I don't have any additional product on my Beauty Blender, the way that I like to blot or fix any areas that maybe have broken up or that are shiny, I just take my Beauty Blender and I just kind of pat around it. I usually do this right in the T-zone area, just to smooth out the foundation, especially if there was like sunglass marks. This is a great way to fix that. Honestly, I don't even think that I really need to do this. It just looks really, really pretty. It does. I really like this foundation. I'm surprised because when I first put it on, I was like, It's a little bit light, it's pretty dewy on my skin, and honestly, I just used my under eye powder. I used a tiny bit of the Next to Nothing powder from MAC, and to apply it, I just used a stippling brush, so it was a really light application, and I just kind of dusted it, you know, on my face. I kind of didn't even do my cheeks. I think I just kind of dusted it down the center. If you're wondering, this is a SL Miss Glam brush. I don't know if it's the Mermaid or the Unicorn collection, but it's really cute. Okay, yes, you may be wondering, why is her hair and makeup different? Well, it's because it's a different day and I forgot to film another check-in when I was wearing the Stellar foundation. So I am wearing it again today. I have worn it about 4 or 5 times since I filmed that first impression. So although this is not like a chronological, you know, throughout the day, I did want to let you guys know kind of my final thoughts on it. So I noticed that at about hour 8, my foundation still looked just as good as it did on hour 4, which is when my recent check-in was. I'm wearing it again today with a lot of my self-tanner kind of off, so you can kind of see how it matches. It is still a little bit yellow for me. That's still kind of my final thoughts on it, but I do really like it. I have tried it a few other times with different primers, with different brushes and beauty blenders, and the beauty blender is still my favorite method to apply it. It does give you a beautiful medium to buildable full coverage. It's light on the skin, like it doesn't feel tacky, it doesn't feel heavy. My skin still feels like it can breathe, so it's light, but it still has really great coverage. It does last well throughout the day. Like I said, I've tried it with a few different primers and it's responded well with each of the primers that I've used. We're having technical difficulties. The camera wasn't filming and it cut off the last part of what I was saying. But basically, I do really like this foundation. I think it's beautiful. I think if you have oily skin, it's going to work fine for you. You'll just want to probably blot a little bit sooner than the 8-hour mark. I've been wearing it for about 4 hours at this point. Obviously, it's a different day. And it's just holding up so beautifully. If you have dry skin, I think you're gonna love it. It doesn't cling to dry patches, it doesn't cling to peach fuzz, it doesn't accentuate pores or fine lines. It applies beautifully, it lasts throughout the day, it wears beautifully. I feel like it looks better the longer that you wear it. And I just really like this foundation, so I give it a big thumbs up. I want to get the right shade and I think I'll love it even more. So have you guys tried this foundation? What are your thoughts? Leave them down in the comments below. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful day and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye. Cute.